Okay, it says we're live now, but let me double
Okay, I
check. I
guess I
always
have
double
to
check.
say got it.
Does it
I
say
guess I have to
got it?
consent that we're live.
I see us on Facebook. Do you see us?
I'm not really checking.
It says we're streaming live, so just say hello.
Hi.
But yes, anyway, it is what time is it here? It's noon in Hawaii, and we have our next guest. Hey everybody, again, FYLPRO Fridays, where we talk to someone from our wonderful organization, the Filipino Young Leaders Program. And today we have a special guest coming in from Seoul, Korea. Hey, Char McGinnis. Woo!
안녕하세요.
And it's 7 a.m. Saturday over there. So thank you.
Yeah.
And you said you wake up this early anyway, but still for putting on your makeup and looking beautiful and fabulous. Thank you for doing that.
My first time this year.
I know.
I tried.
I know. I didn't even fix my hair. I just like threw it on too, but whatever, you know, because it's a special day just to have two wonderful women on our FYLPRO Fridays as usual. So
That's right. That's right.
well, give us an update because I know you're from here, Hawaii, but you moved away. So let us fill us in on what you've been doing, and you know, also FYLPRO, your connection to FYLPRO for people who may not know you, which I feel would be impossible, but just in case.
Impossible that, I mean, it's possible. Well, yeah, so I left the island, me and my family, we left the island July last year. So been here since then. You know, we weren't really ready for the winter. We thought we were, how cold it was, how short the days were. But now it's immediately it's like spring. It's actually raining outside right now. And definitely looking forward to spring, cherry blossoms, tulips, all that stuff, right? Work-wise, been busy. I don't know if you guys are tracking what North Korea has been doing. So
fill us in. What's going on over there?
No, just the usual stuff like launching missiles and stuff, you know.
At least there's no false alerts here. So
yes. Yeah, so when people freak out here, I'm like, okay. Been there, done that. But yeah, work has been, it's different because majority of my coworkers are soldiers. So definitely not used to that, like a different military culture. Because for Air Force, we always question things, but what I've seen with my coworkers is they just do it. I mean, why don't you question that?
Interesting. Okay, so explain the dynamics. So obviously you're in the military, U.S. Air Force, and high-ranking Filipina. Yay! Woo!
Trying.
Working your way up in the military ranks. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, how has the dynamics been different over there versus here? But you lived there before also.
I'm sorry.
I just said, but I remember you did live there before also.
Yeah. So when we were here 10 years ago, I was, well, we were in an Air Force base. But this time I'm actually stationed at an Army base.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm learning a lot from the way they do things. I mean, there are definitely a lot of differences, nuances, but it's been amazing to see how we influence each other. Like just, you know, for example, like going on vacation, like for Air Force, it's literally like, okay, I'm going on vacation these dates and then send it off, right, on a computer. And then for the Army guys here, they have to like print out their paperwork, go to this office. Like by the time you printed that out, like my vacation would have been approved already. So just those different things, right? So hopefully they'll learn from like me and other Air Force people being around them, like, hey, we can do things more efficiently, and vice versa, right?
Well, you know, the stereotype that we often hear is that things can take a bit longer with the bureaucracy within the military, but I know part of you and your go-to attitude has always been, let's get this done. And how do we do it? Very, solutions oriented. So are you starting to make waves over there and bring
Make
the
waves.
Char flavor?
I mean, just asking questions, right? So for example, I ask if there's some, because this month is Women's History Month. So I ask if there are any events specifically tailored highlighting women's contribution to the military, and our Strength and Diversity Working Group. They had some, but it's not as robust as what they're doing at the Air Force Base. So I asked, like, hey, are there other things that we can do, like simple things, right? So on Thursday, we actually had a panel of composed of female Republic of Korea leaders to give them a platform to tell their story, right? Because we're good about telling our stories, especially March. But for them, it's, one, there's not a lot of female military folks in the Republic of Korea Armed Forces. And then two, there's that cultural, not barrier, but considerations. It's a very patriarchal society, very conservative. So it's not, I wouldn't say the talk is about feminism, but having females engaged in the decision-making process. So
Kind
there's
of like
that
the military culture. There's almost like a parallel, I would think, maybe.
Well, so at least in the Air Force, it's changing, right? Like voices are being heard more easily. But here, it's a very traditional society, whether that's good or bad. There's some progress that needs to be made in every society, right? So just giving them a platform to be able to say why they joined, what made them join, what do they envision for females to do in the military, in the society, the roles that they need to fulfill, whether within the family or within the community. So just partnering with a couple of badass ladies here and staff, and a bunch of diplomats actually in Seoul. They've heard about certain efforts that we're trying to do. And so I've met with the Philippine ambassador to the Republic of Korea, Ambassador De Vega. So she's awesome, and hopefully she'll come down here and speak at one of our events as well.
How long has she been the ambassador there?
She got here last fall.
Oh, okay, so relatively new.
Yeah, so she hasn't been going around just because of COVID.
Yeah. How is the COVID situation there?
So last time I checked, there were over 300,000 cases across the country.
Okay.
So
that sounds bad. That sounds bad. Is it bad?
I think Korea has one of the highest numbers of COVID cases, but it's Omicron, right?
Okay.
So not a lot of hospitalizations. Literally, like it's like self-monitoring. They actually lifted the quarantine for international travelers.
Oh, so wow! We can go now.
Yes, you don't have to quarantine.
Oh my gosh! When did that happen? Was that recently? I haven't been following.
Yeah, it was recent. It was actually last week.
Wow! So then we can actually go visit you.
Yes. Just in time for the summer.
Yay! Oh my gosh, it would be great. Okay. So anyway, so they're starting to opening up events and things, and
I mean, BTS had a concert, like multiple concerts in Seoul.
Oh, COVID can't keep them down. No, they're getting Omicron. No.
Yeah, they just opened up Seoul for us actually 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you gone to the BTS concert? Did you go?
No, it was a lottery ticket system for foreigners.
Oh my God. I did not realize that. So you couldn't just buy, it was
No.
really random. And I'm
Yeah,
guessing you didn't get it because you didn't go.
I didn't go, and we couldn't go at that time.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So and so you've been getting to know people there, trying to do, make your mark as usual. How many Filipinos are actually there? Is it a big
Um,
community?
there's not a lot actually. I think
Really?
a couple 100,000 across the country.
Oh, wow. I wonder
Yeah.
why. Is there just not? And most of them, I think I remember from my conversation with someone over there. Who's that Pinay, the one who's the first state leader
Oh yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
Filipina? You know who
yeah.
I'm talking about? I
Yeah, I
met
know who you're
her when I
talking
went
about.
there for the East West Center, and she told me that a lot of them are brides. Like a lot of
Mhm.
the Filipinos that go there end up because they're spouses, right?
Yeah. Yes,
So
it's not like, Dubai or other countries that you would see a lot of Filipinos in. I
like
mean, I haven't been to
hotels,
the
like
mall
hospitality
actually.
work. They're
Huh?
what?
Working at the mall or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them end up
No.
like the migrant workers would usually be like in service industries, right? Like hotels, restaurants, things like that. But you don't see them, huh?
No, no, not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had to learn my Korean.
How's your Korean going?
I know how to ask where the bathroom is.
There you go. Let's hear it.
I mean, 화장실. Very important. Very important.
Okay, that is important. You need to learn the good ones. And how's your daughter doing? Is she
Uh,
loving it?
I mean, she loves it, but she hasn't really experienced a lot, right? Especially Seoul. I've been to Seoul a couple times for work, and she's like, Mama, when are we going to Seoul? How come we bought these it's called T-money cards? So essentially like we just tap it and we can go on our merry way with public transportation, right?
Okay.
And she's like, Mama, how come we haven't used the card? I'm like, well, because we're not allowed to go to Seoul yet. But anyway,
Soon.
yeah. I'll take her once we're done with some of our work here. She's actually on spring break next week.
Oh, wow. Okay. What are you guys gonna do? Are you guys gonna go anywhere?
Nothing. Well, because like if we go to Seoul next week, everybody's gonna go there because Seoul just opened up, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, no, we'll wait. We'll
Because
wait.
is it probably gonna be crowded?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So crowded, spring break, it just opened up. And then, I want her to go to it's called Hana School. So it's a Korean immersion school. So she loves it whenever she's not in her regular school. She actually learns how to write in Korean and all that.
Wow, that's so cool. And then
Yeah.
so everyone is enjoying at least the experience, at least of
Oh yeah, of
trying to be
course.
there. Okay. Immersive cultural experience. But I guess so we were talking to a lot of the members about the 10-year anniversary and reflection on, their time. So what year were you again? And remind us about, how things have been since you left the immersion program or since you finished it.
Yeah, so I was lucky batch 7. So 2018. It's been an adventure. I learned a lot about how Philam orgs are run, how to effectively communicate with Filipinos.
So, but before this, to clarify, you hadn't done that type of work before?
No, no,
So this
no.
was really your first experience. FYLPRO was like really your first experience with a Filipino organization.
Yes,
Even though
yes.
you work, because I know you worked in the Philippines. Like you did
Yeah, but
work.
that's different, right? Because it's work. Now, if it's community volunteer, it's we don't get paid for any of these things.
Hmm.
So there's a different mentality, right?
Okay. Okay. But you
Yeah.
still have to manage staff. Like you still had to manage Filipino Filipinos who have a certain cultural mindset, correct?
Yeah, but
We've
it's
talked
easier
about
if they're
this.
getting paid.
Because we've talked about this, like my challenges, having to manage Filipino staff at the company that I was at, right? So there's a very, I guess it was like a culture shock to me, because you have the difference of Filipino American versus Filipino.
Right.
So, but you felt like you didn't experience so much of that negative context, I guess.
No, it's just, it's just a little different. Um, when I make decision, having grown up in the military, it's not about feelings, right? It's about facts.
Mm.
Like, I don't care what you say, like, you're sucking right now, right?
And there's a clear hierarchy, right? There's a
Right.
clear command.
Right. But with certain organizations, whether, it's mainly composed of Filipinos or Filipino Americans, other organizations, uh, sometimes when it's not a paid gig, or if it's literally just a social or social community organization, emotions will come out, right? We all have different objectives, different motivations about doing what we do. So that's where clashes can happen, which I'm fine with. It's fine. That's how we grow.
Well, this is why it's a chismisa and Char, because we have to like have that conversation about how challenging it can be for these culture clashes to get
Yeah.
things done, right? I mean, that's full disclosure for me, that was frankly what frustrated me in certain situations and the company that I was at. Like I work in media, and you say facts are facts, but even in the world of journalism where facts are facts, there tends to be a lot of emotion that gets injected into something that you would think would be not so emotional. So that was the big
Right,
challenge for me, for example. What'd you say?
It's journalism.
Yeah. But working in the Philippines, I think that was the adjustment I had to deal with, is that I'm the outsider. So if I'm the outsider, I have to kind of defer to the main culture, which is interesting because I think Hawaii is kind of the same way.
You think so?
Just not as strong, but there is this very clear differentiation between outsider and someone who is born and raised in Hawaii. As a transplant, because I'm a transplant. So you don't think so? You don't feel that? Well, you weren't born and raised in Hawaii, were you? I know you're from Hawaii, but
No. So I had a conversation with Dr. Isa, my batchmate, when we were in the Philippines the last time. Because Isa, she's amazing. I'm like, I thought that, I know everything about psychology, but no, she knows like the Filipino and Filipino American psyche. And she told us, hey, there's that generational there's that generational difference, right? Like the old generation moving over, and then the new generation, and then the generations after that.
Mhm.
So that's one difference. And then the second difference is, the survival mode. Like some folks are okay with, you know what, let's just, sweep it under the rug. It's going to be fine. Kumbaya. But other folks like me, like, no, let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's like confrontational.
And it's not meant to be. I don't know, like confrontational, it has that bad connotation, right? But that's how we figure out who we are as a person, as an individual, and as a member of a group. Like if you can't have a decent conversation about something that you disagree with, like why are you even there?
I agree I'm on the same page as you, but there's just different ways of doing things. They joke about that ASEAN consensus, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
it just, you can't get anything done because everything is predicated on everyone agreeing, which is almost impossible if you are coming from so many different sides of an issue. So
Yeah,
then
so
in the end,
it's it being here in Korea, they have that type of mentality as well, right? The saving face. So they would agree with you during a meeting and then and then turn around and like, what was that? Kind of thing, right? So why couldn't you just ask me during a meeting? Like I wouldn't be upset.
but if you were to do that to them, they would be totally upset,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you
Like
get
you
around
just
that?
lost this, huh?
So how do you get around that? Like, how have you learned to work with that?
You use translators. This is what I meant. Can you translate that?
And then does it get through? I mean, have you had any issues with, getting lost in translation?
And there have been, but what you need is more discussions, especially when it comes to money. Like
Oh,
it's
that's
very
the
important
worst.
that that doesn't get lost in translation.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, that's why things get done, what take so long to get done, right? Because there's
Right.
so much back and forth, there's like double speak, and it's like, I don't know. I'm the same. We have a similar personality where it's like you want so much to get to the goal, but it's like there's like so much dancing that you have to do to get there.
Right. It's kind of like, here's the big picture.
Yes.
I'm giving you the big picture. This is why we're doing it. I don't care what you do here.
Let's just get there. But
Yeah.
yes, but the reality, and you mentioned this earlier, is like even our community organizations, which are all well-meaning, well-intentioned, and as being from Hawaii, we have all these wonderful organizations that strive to do good work, but because of whatever reason, it gets bogged down in emotions and egos and then so how do you get what's the solution here? Where do you think we should be going or doing to improve that?
Yeah. So the clear example of that was Census 2020. So there's there are about over 300 PhilAm organizations across the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Census 2020 brought everyone together. Surprisingly, like during at the onset of COVID, when people are not used to doing a lot of virtual meetings. So I think key for having people come together, and not just Filipinos, but other groups as well, is to have a clear guidance, clear vision, a clear objective, strong leadership. So not just the person at the top, right, but also empowering the staff and the committee. Like you told me that this is what you want to do. Okay, well, I see what I'm doing as a piece of that. Let me run with it. If I fail, then I fail. But at least nobody dies, nobody goes to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like let me experiment. Let me learn my lesson.
Mm-hmm. Have ownership.
Exactly. Extreme ownership.
Yes,
Right.
because
So I
there
think that's
comes
what happened with
accountability.
Census 2020. Like you would think that it won't be as successful, but it actually became like Hawaii became one of the most enumerated states for Census 2020. For having, a state, not just, we have, just our geography alone is a challenge already. And getting to the kupuna who are not very versed in social media, like, technology, having to use the radio stations to reach out to them. I mean, I think that's one of my most most proudest moment project.
Proudest moment and project I've had.
Yes. I mean, it's not just that one point of time, right? Like for the next 10 years, we know what resources are available to us and for us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was very adamant about being part of that committee and, seeing the Filipino community work together. I'm like, wow, it can be done.
It can be done. We can do it again for other things, right?
Right.
And I have to give you the shout out to Char, because this whole Chismisan thing was born out of that idea of these regular weekly, was it monthly? They were monthly, like
Yeah, it was monthly.
discussions with now Senator Benet Misalucha, who was at the time the head of this census drive, right? And it was wonderful just to be able to talk about these issues through different lenses. And I think so I agree with you. I thought that was a great project that you guys created and was able to get people together despite being stuck at home. Right, and not being able to go and see each other. So it was a perfect example of pivoting and bringing people together. So I guess the next question is, what about the next application, right? Like, can we, what would be a great project? Well, we talked about this offline, is the Bataan March, right? So tell us about that. That's something you're working on.
Well, so I've been in communications with the Hawaii Air National Guard, the command chief there, Chief Fox, and her staff. So last year we did the first Bataan Memorial Death March on island. So we started from Pearl Harbor, went to Punch Bowl Cemetery, made our round there, paid our respects, and then turned back around and finish at USS Missouri. So very symbolic, right? Because Pearl Harbor, that's how we got brought into the war. And then, paying our respects to the soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and then finishing at the USS Missouri, where, the Japanese signed their surrender. So about 20 people did the walk last year, and got a note from Chief Fox saying that they want to do it again this year. So I actually had a Zoom call with them the other day because now there's less restrictions. I heard that today is the last day of wearing masks. So
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing mask burn parties.
Do you guys have them there? No.
No. Just as disposable ones, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that grow and to bring people together, to honor World War II veterans, and bring in the community to make sure that they don't forget.
When is it? Do you have the date already for that?
So they're thinking about doing it on 11 June.
Okay.
I thought that it was going to be earlier just because, like when we did it last year, it was super hot. But
yeah,
they want max participation, which is good, right? Give people time to actually get ready. It's not, it's walking, but it's 26.2 miles. Yeah. It's a marathon. Yeah. So you can say that, oh yeah, it's just walking, but it's 26.2 mils.
Yeah, that's. I would like to join.
You can cover it in the morning.
If it's in the morning, okay.
Yeah, you can just walk the first 2 miles.
Yeah, I'll do it in the morning.
See you guys at the end.
I know. That's when I'll rejoin.
You guys want water?
Are you gonna feed people on the way? I remember your project before was this food marathon thing, right? Are you gonna do a similar concept?
Well, so I've pitched that idea here at Osan and at Humphreys. So Humphreys is the Army post or Army garrison. But because, COVID is still here, people are, trying to make sure that we don't get in trouble with the Korean government. So there's interest. There's definitely interest, especially with this upcoming AAPI Heritage Month. But we'll see. Yeah, it seems like the Air Force base is more open than the Army base. So I may have to take a trip 20 minutes down the road.
And do it over there, do something over there instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's
Hopefully
cool.
somebody can carry the water for me.
You're like anyone. So if there's anything you want to work on or that you're asking from the universe, like I get every time we do these, I always like give the last part of the interview to kind of like a chant, like a plug, where if there's something you're working on or if there's something you want to collaborate on and want people to know about, what would it be? Like what are you working on? What do you want people to get involved in or get excited about?
So, I mean, for me here, literally working on the women, peace, and security efforts on the peninsula, making sure that we advance the objectives of ensuring that women are part of the process, right? So that's very like military focused, but looking at what can be done at home, it's the same thing. Bringing females together. I don't like. I had this conversation with Kenneth. Like, am I a feminist? I don't think I'm a feminist. Like, I just
What
want to
does
make
being a feminist mean though, right? Isn't it about promoting a female centric, agenda, whatever it is? Isn't that what feminism is?
Yeah, so here there's a bad connotation
Oh,
on what feminism is. Like feminism here means that there's less opportunities for males. Like that's not what
oh,
we're that is not
oh,
what
that's weird. Okay.
it is weird. It is weird. But I would definitely like to see like more so not just panels, right? Because we can do panels all day long. But definitely seeing what the future leaders are capable of doing or want to do. Like I want to hear from college students, from high school students, like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how I envision women's roles are in the society in Hawaii, right? I mean, I've been scouring the internet. I don't see a lot of events catered for that, right? There's a lot of like leadership conferences, symposiums. But
Mhm,
what about like hearing it from where they're at right now?
mhm.
Like
So that's what you want to work on. That's like the projects that you are focused on.
yeah, I mean that's something that I really want to see happen back in Hawaii. Uh,
Mhm,
give give female students the platform. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. I need buy-in from the mayor, from my district senator, from anyone who has clout,
mhm,
right? And tell my story, tell what I want to do, vice me being told what to do.
mhm, mhm. And then other
It's
projects here too.
yeah, I mean, I'm not about like creating like more projects, right? Like I like seeing projects, like multiple projects, and seeing how people can work together, right? Looking
Mhm,
at the Filipino Community Center, that is, there's a lot of potential there to be the the center of everything that we do as Filipinos and Filipino Americans across the state, across Oahu, actually, because Kauai now has their own Filipino Community Center.
oh, I see. Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I think they just
Where is that?
opened.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
need to ask
gosh.
Mike.
I was just there. I was on Kauai like a month ago or something. I wonder
Just
why
opened.
did anyone say anything? I was there. Oh
Maybe the paint
no.
was still drying.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Like an actual, is it as big? Not as big, but there's actually
I don't think so.
but there is a center, like a dedicated space just for the community to meet.
I think so. Yeah, because that's Mike's part of Mike's community, like his FYLPRO project. Let's see.
Okay, honestly, like I was not informed, so I'm gonna have to like ask him because that's an interesting story in itself that they have their own.
You just need to go back to. It's fine.
I
Just
wonder
need to go
if it
back
got.
to
Do you
it.
think it got delayed? When was the last time you asked him about it? We'll have to message Mike. I'm gonna call you and
There we go. Kauai Philippine Cultural Center. Yes, Kauai Philippine Cultural Center.
Oh, we'll see. I have to, but I've been out of it for the last couple weeks because I was on the mainland. So maybe if I missed it with the last weeks,
I'll
then
just give you
that's
another
my
reason
fault.
to give you a reason to go to Kauai.
Yes, that's awesome though. I'm glad that they have their own place to meet as well. But yeah, here it would be nice to see more events. I just went to one recently where they honored Governor Ben Cayetano with the Knights of Rizal.
Yeah,
So
I saw the pictures. I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
rocking it.
that was the first time I had gone to the Philcom Center, but
Oh, really?
yeah, well, I went to a couple of COVID clinics, but not any events, that was like the first gala, like you dress up and you do something, but they're back. Those events are back, Char. Like, I'm
It's
sure you did see
weird.
the
Like
pictures.
I'd see pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a different world. Like no masks. Like where are their masks?
Well, we're supposed to have masks, but we take them off for the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because here, like indoor, we still have to wear outdoors as well.
Oh, real outdoors also.
Yeah. I mean, air quality here is not as good. So
Oh, okay. No, tomorrow is our last day. The mask mandate will be gone for indoors. So I've talked to a couple of people who say they will still wear it, but I mean, when you go to the mainland, it's like totally no one's wearing them anymore. So we're really the last state to get rid of it.
yeah, I mean, I'd still wear it because I like hiding
You like hiding your face?
RBF.
Actually, that's a good reason. Actually, the other day I was like, I just don't feel like smiling. I'm just gonna like put my mask on, because you don't want to look mean, right? You don't want to look mean. I agree with you.
Right, right. Like I can't
Permanent mask.
I gotta wear my mask.
I don't want people to know what I'm thinking because I can tell.
Right?
I can
Like,
tell
okay, I'm
when
just gonna pretend I'm taking notes.
or if I'm like, actually I have a funny story. Like I was flying on the plane and I had the mask, because the masks are still required on the plane, right? And I don't know if this happens to you, but when you fall asleep on the plane, your mouth like hangs open, you're just like that. But with
Totally.
the masks, no one knows. It's amazing. You're
They'll
not
never
embarrassed.
know. Never know.
They'll never know.
Sometimes you forget to brush your teeth. Whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Bad breath. And then you smell your mask later and you're like, oh.
Like, huh? That's what I had for lunch. Okay.
So anyway, we completely digress, but look how fast that was. It's already 6:38 or East Coast time. But always good to see you, Char.
Yeah, you guys come visit.
Now that it's no quarantine, there's no excuse. I mean, hopefully they have. Well, are there flights? The question is, are there enough flights, and are the flights not too expensive?
So last time I checked, it wasn't too expensive.
Okay, might have to do a
Well,
summer trip.
So I'm not tracking what the current CDC definition is of fully vaccinated, but here it's the first two, the first two shots.
The original, yeah.
And then you need to get your booster shot.
Oh, so you do have to have the booster. Okay.
Yeah. And as long as that booster is not over 180 days old.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
180 days. I don't remember that when I got my booster. It's been a long time, but we'll see. Anyway. Okay. Well, we can let people go. Unless was there any other final thoughts you want to leave us with for our
No,
FYLPRO
I mean,
discussion?
definitely looking forward to what FYLPRO writ large, and it's at a smaller scale, FYLPRO Hawaii will do this year, despite me being across the pond. I miss you guys, but
we're hoping to bring the immersion program back next year, but I know their FYLPROCon will probably come in some shape or form. So there is a membership meeting coming up. I think it's on Monday. So our president, Lizelle Tanglao, will be announcing several updates. So tune in, everyone, to that. And we definitely are always checking in with our alumni every Friday to hear their stories. And I love this because it's just an excuse to catch up with people. But also give you guys like a little bit of a plug for your whatever projects you guys are working on. So I know it's been a long time for people. And it's so hard to get together, but we will soon.
yes. My plan is to be back on island in December and run the marathon.
Oh, see? Well, there you go. There and you're not gonna come back for the Bataan thing? I thought that was your baby. The Bataan.
No, it's their baby now. I gotta
Oh,
there.
you're gonna okay. You're like, you take care of it now.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, it's good to see you. I'll end the live stream. If anyone needs to reach Char, just I don't know, how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you or find out about all of this stuff? It's what?
Why would they want to talk to me? No, I'm on Facebook.
Okay, find her. You guys can find her if you want to hear about all this other stuff she's working on. All right, and I'll see you guys next Friday. We'll have another Hawaii guy, Randy Cortez.
Oh, yes.
Randy. All right, aloha.
Aloha.